The families in this community came here about 40, 45 years ago. For the longest time, they were all camping in houses made of bamboo sticks and cardboard and black plastic, cooking on open fires. And they lived that way for about 30 years. And in 2015, there was a major earthquake here in Kathmandu. At that time, all the families were moved out of that field, and the field was used as a place for displaced Nepali families who had lost their homes in the earthquake to come and live. Since that time, they've been living here in these small brick rooms, sort of 8 to 10 people to a room. The conditions are still pretty basic, but there's running water and there are toilets, and that's a little bit of an upgrade from where they were living before. The quilts are made from upcycled fabric that is lying around the houses or that the women get from the tailor shops in town. Quilts for Kids provides a kind of hygienic fiber batting for the inside, and we buy cloth for the backs of the quilts from the shops where the Tibetan monks get their robes made. So all of the backs of the quilts are the kind of maroon color that you see monks wearing around town. After Evelyn finishes here with her 3 weeks of teaching, all the quilts that were made during this time, and we've made about 75 or 80 quilts, those quilts will all go onto the website and they'll be available for purchase by people from around the world. So if anyone is interested in supporting this project, the price of the quilts, which is currently $290, is the cost of sending one child to school for 1 year. So if you purchase a quilt from Quilts for Kids Nepal, 100% of that money will go to support sending a kid to school, buying them school uniforms, shoes, books, and a backpack. All of our other expenses are paid by donations. So if one buys a quilt, the kid goes to school for a year.
Great. You had also mentioned before coming through this area that any of them are beggars are doing begging on the street.
Yes.
And we see these people on the streets, and we don't know the story that's going on at home.
Yeah.
And right now we're capturing that story, and what
Fantastic.
you're seeing in these clips here are those behind the scenes of when they go home.
Right.
Yeah.
Very important. It's a very important story to tell because, like most people, when I showed up here in Kathmandu 20 years ago, I was kind of scared, a little bit freaked out, didn't like what I was seeing, all of that. Seeing people begging in the street for the first time. I had never seen it before. I didn't know what to do. And it was actually on the advice of my Lama that I went out one day, and he said, instead of saying no to everything, say yes, and in whatever way that you can, help whoever appears in front of you. That's what he said, literally. And so one of these kids came up to me and asked for 5 rupees, and instead of saying no, I said yes. And instead of running, I actually went with this little girl down to her house, which I had never seen a community like this before, in such desperate poverty, you can say. And I thought, well, okay, James, you say you want to help in the world, you say you want to do something, now is the place to do it. So that's how I ended up in this community. And I was absolutely shocked to find that the people who we see begging on the street, picking through garbage, doing things that we can't imagine doing, actually have quite normal, quite beautiful lives, close families, 2 or 3 generations sometimes living together. Poverty, yes, but an actually wonderfully vibrant, lively, and creative community that I never imagined existed.
Yeah, and you've been doing this for how many years?
This project, 18 years now.
Wow,
18
incredible.
years.
All the way from Virginia.
All the way from Virginia, yeah.
Great.
I have no experience in doing this. I really went to this community with that directive from my guru. in whatever way you can, just help. And I saw women making quilts, and I recognized that from Virginia. We have quilts in Virginia. My grandmother's friends all made quilts. I thought, oh, that's a beautiful product that can be turned into something that would empower the women in this community and give them their own earning power, which is something that is a basis of pulling families out of poverty, empowering the women and giving them their own money.
Great. Well, everybody here appreciates you following your Dharma.
Yes, now I know what that means. Absolutely.